Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of the final third. You have myself, Juls, Banks, Kante's cousin, Shamila Lorraine, all of that, Lavish.
All of that.
And we have a special guest. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello everyone, my name is Melo, Melo10_May on Insta. Yeah, that's me.
Big up for coming on.
Oh, it's a pleasure. I support Arsenal, was endowed Arsenal from the jump. I'd be, support Arsenal, go through many traumas and that, so.
Just another sufferer, man. Another sufferer.
Yeah,
that's what we invite onto our platform.
Let him talk his talk, man.
Yeah, another sufferer.
It's true, we're suffering in the streets. I can't even lie.
Bare sufferers, bro.
Just a heads up, one thing we don't do on here is agree with Banks. Like, we don't. Just keep going. We just don't.
Nobody ever likes to agree with the truth. Right? You think I don't know that?
I feel know that. I know where you're coming from. I get it that a lot as well.
Come on, man.
Right, we're gonna jump straight into it with the first segment. I'm just gonna ask you, if you watched the United game, what was your perspective on it? What was your highlight of the match? Melo.
For me personally, I felt, it's a continuation of what they've been doing recently. Playing well, good football, pressing from the front, playing with intensity, and it looks like lately the defenses sort themselves out and they really have a team structure. Especially going forward, the front three of Mason, Greenwood, Rashford, and Martial, they get that right. There's a lot of potential because you have three guys that I can see scoring in and around 20 goals consistently, and that's scary. That's very, very scary. And as an Arsenal fan looking in, it's very scary. And if there's someone managed to keep Pogba as well, and it will look very scary. Of course, the defense it needs a bit of work, but in that game they don't want. On the other hand, they did get lucky with some decisions, as you know.
As always.
Nothing.
United always get referee decisions, as we know that from in time gone past. But
are those tears I hear? Are those tears?
To be fair, they done what they need to do. They got the win. Rashford was on fire. Martial. I think my only issue with Martial in the past is that he lacked a motor, as in his intensity, like to press, and he looks kind of lazy at times. But recently, especially since the lockdown was finished, his motor's come there. And if Martial can keep that motor, then he'll be able to repay the transfer fee that they paid for him.
60 mil.
Bruno Fernandes dropped a genuine 1 out of 10 today. I was nearly crying. I nearly had tears in my eyes from his performance. My word. I don't know how he got man of the match when Rashford is breathing on that pitch.
Yeah.
It felt like every single pass this guy could make, he got it wrong. I don't understand. And he somehow managed to fluke an assist today. I don't want to turn on my own players, but hey, please, Bruno Fernandes, do not make me lose this hair that's on my head right now. Because you frustrate me. I spoke about it before. Like, I know he likes to try stuff and there's nothing wrong with being ambitious. But my word, if you're going to try it, just get it right. And sometimes you have to know you need to keep the ball. It's not every time try one mad through ball through the middle of the park when there's like 6 men standing in front of you. Just keep the ball, keep it ticking. This guy wants to do Hollywood every single time. I couldn't believe there was some other stinky performances today. AWB wasn't at his best. Greenwood a bit below par, but Bruno, when I tell you, pattern yourself up. Pattern your whole
Bruno's
thing up.
assist and him hitting the post, like getting that ball on the volley, really, really got the commentators going. And all of a sudden, they start giving him man in the match.
We need to speak about this because the commentators be acting like he's dropping genuine 10 out of 10.
Crazy.
He's pulled this club out of the mud single-handedly.
For the second goal, I'm hearing the commentator like, "Oh my gosh, and it's a fantastic
it's Bruno
pass
that made that.
Bruno." When Rashford is the one who took the whole weight off the pass and hit it first time, I was thinking, is he getting them mixed up?
Rashford even carried it from the halfway line.
Yeah, word.
I swear to God. Hey, Rashford and Martial up front, Hey, scary hours. Hey,
that's scary.
When I tell you, I love them too. I love them
very
too.
Scary. I can't like that front three has a lot of potential. A lot.
So like the way they just combine, they love to pop a little 1-2. These little get in the box, create a little chance for each other, and the fact that they just work like every time you sport, I sport. That's love. That's love. Making sure your brother eats, making sure your family eats. I got bread on my plate. Let me put something on my brother's plate, and vice versa. That's the love. That's the love we've been waiting for. That's the love.
To be fair, Mason Greenwood adds fine balance, with him being left-footed as well.
He does, recently he's been looking tired. Like the performance has come down a little, but he's 18. Ain't no worry about that. Ain't no worry. Just give him a little bit of time. He's gonna have to play the semi-final against Chelsea. You have to take him off, give him a bit of rest. But
Play Dan James.
hey,
So
don't get me hot right now. I've been in a good mood. Don't get me hot.
Just quickly, so if you guys don't come top 4 and you drop out of the FA Cup, are you just like, fine, we played well in the back end of
Sure. Why would you
That's a good
question.
I'm just asking because this momentum, every
happens,
week you come on here and you talk stick, but I'm just saying, if you drop out of the FA Cup, because you got Chelsea, and you drop out of top 4, like you don't make top 4, like are we still content with the way we're playing? They were just like, yeah, it's fine.
If that does manage to happen because we've got a poor Leicester side and a poor West Ham side, then I'd be extremely, extremely disappointed and something would need to change. But as it's going right now, I can't see that happening. I can't see us losing to West Ham, and at most, we're going to need a draw against Leicester. So I can't see that happening. But if that does happen, that's a catastrophe, a literal catastrophe. And I am afraid to say that all of this is good and well as long as we achieve the goals that we set.
But you've still got Europa to get into Champions League, though.
No need to take that risk of getting through the Europa. There's no need to do all of that. Just do it first, you've
got 3 tries.
Beat Leicester.
3 tries. You can't mess up, man.
Literally. So midweek, Pep. Well, if you don't know, Manchester City got overruled with their ban, so they are allowed to play the Champions League. And I think their fine went down from a crazy amount to like 10 mil, I'm hearing, or something. I don't know.
Yeah. I think it went from 30 million to 10 million or something.
So everyone kind of came out and had their two-piece say on it, mainly the managers. And Guardiola replied and was like, he gave stick for Wenger, United and Liverpool, and I think Mourinho as well, and just said that everyone else spent big money. Like, why is it a problem for City to spend big money? Mm-hmm. Now, I just want to ask Shemi, what is your take on that, and is he right in a sense?
That's fine if we're on governments. Just let me know we're using governments. That's fine.
Who you hiding from, bruh?
You've got 2 minutes. I can use whatever one I like.
It's fine. Go off. It's your show.
Got no pulling this room,
Pep.
No pulling.
Pep. Don't start, bro. Now, on the road, Pep, he's just going to come out swinging in it because his back's against the wall, if you're being honest. It's shady. We all know it's shady. Like, and you're just thinking, like, Mourinho raised a good point. Like, if you're not guilty, why are you paying money in the first place? Do you get? He goes on to talk about spending, right? Is that the same question you're asking as well, JD? He goes on to talk about spending, and then he talks about how, like, to be the best, you have to spend. All these clubs did it, and they had their era of spending. I understand what he's saying, but I'm only taking that with a pinch of salt because Man City spending has been unmatched. Like only Chelsea and Man City have spent the way in which he's talking about. And so comparing it to Arsenal, comparing it to Man United is very, very different. City's had several lavish spendings, pardon the pun. They've had several over you like that. But
I loved it, man. I loved it.
They've had several over like a short period of time. And yes, it's brought success, but it's kind of seen as it was taboo and it kind of seen as a cheat code. Would you get? Because I'm sure apparently Blackburn did something similar. QPR tried something similar and that failed. And when City first started trying it, it was dead. It didn't work. So I don't know, boy. Him comparing it to Arsenal and United is a bit shameless, but I get where he's coming from, innit? I get where he's coming from.
For me, Pep Guardiola needs to remember that he's the reason why Liverpool won this Premier League. So he just needs to call, like, whatever stick talk he's got, he just needs to tone it down. Because this did not happen in Wenger and Saf's era. Alex Ferguson and Wenger did not let this happen. Prime Mourinho did not let this happen. So before you start saying, we spent the money, we spent it for a good cause. We made sure that Liverpool did not rise up from the dirt that they were in. And now you spent all of this money just to let Liverpool win this Premier League. You don't get to talk like that. You need to take a step back and reassess what you actually did this season. But in the grander scheme of things, look, them niggas guilty as hell, man. They're guilty.
Honestly.
And
he did that.
And whatever, you see the way the lawyers, you lot saw the way the lawyers pulled up. You lot saw the way the lawyers.
50 lawyers. What?
They were never not getting away with that. And Sometimes just have money in this life. Have money.
It's true. If you don't have money, you go suffer.
You go suffer. Pay the lawyers. Get them to run away for ragged. Get themselves back in the Champions League. What can you say? You got the money, spend it. And they did.
Yeah, to be honest, it's good that you touched on the law aspect of it, because Man City were never gonna face this ban. And yeah, because it's funny enough, I actually did a dissertation on this topic or something similar.
Hey,
And
your shit.
Man City will never, ever go in to face this ban, because essentially UEFA were kind of colluding with them to kind of hide, Man City's payments. And so even goes up, if you listen to what's it called, Spiegel leaks or the Spiegel papers, whatever it was called, if I remember correctly, even what's called, I think the current FIFA president, Infantino, the bald guy that used to pick out the balls in the Champions League, that guy, he was involved in it as well, trying to, those emails behind a closed door saying blah, 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 if you do this, you have to pay this, we're going to cover this up, that sort of thing. And so if Man City could have really opened all that closet up and just exposed it to the world. And furthermore, Man City have more money, because obviously Man City are backed by what's called the sheikhs and that, and they're from Qatar and that. They have way more money than UEFA do. So if you ever got down to a law type of thing, they'll just go to Supreme Court, Switzerland, blah, blah, blah. And, essentially UEFA would have gone bankrupt. So UEFA had to do what they had to do.
You can't fight that sort of money, man. You can't
fight. But yeah, Man City are guilty, to be fair. But then again, FFP is rubbish. They put all these laws, they don't enforce them. In my opinion,
going to set such a terrible precedent.
And Melo, this is something as an Arsenal fan, it's a bitter pill to swallow, because as Arsenal fans are probably the most financially literate fans because of what Arsene put us through. We grew up in that era where we'll be in the playground in primary school, arguing with other fans, explaining to them the breakdown of how you have to pay back a stadium, or how you have to sell your best players to make money and just keep it to be financially sustainable. But it seems every other team in the top six, when they've had their lavish spending spree or when they've done whatever they've done, they haven't had an impact. They haven't been clotted like Arsenal have. So this one's a bitter pill to swallow still.
It's very bitter. Arsenal, I've said it numerous times recently. Arsenal, some reason, are the only team that abides by FFP in the Premier League. Tooth and nail. I don't know why. We have this philosophy and strategy we want to stick to. Obviously, it's not successful, but every other team doesn't.
I think it's just an excuse for Kroenke not to suspend, I think Kroenke is saying, you lot better follow that shit very, very strictly, because I'm not putting my own money into
every team's had a spend. Even Tottenham are trying to have a spending spree, and this has been their worst season, but they tried to spend money. They're not used. Not everyone deserves money. That's what Spurs have shown us. But at least they try to spend. But boy.
It's going to be terrible for FFP in terms of it being enforced. It's literally going to be it's downhill from here. It's downhill from here.
They honestly need to put in the bin. If you look at because I looked at the PSG part of it as well, and similar stuff. They're just trying to protect them because they have so much money. They're scared. They're scared of them. Basically, the clubs are more powerful than them, and they can't enforce the rules. They should put in the bin. I mean, it's a protection scheme, anyways. They put in place
Sorry, Melo, to cut you off. I've never seen a deal more as entangled to something that's not supposed to be than Neymar's deal to PSG, because on Sky Sports News that day, they were showing the bullet points of how it has something to do with the Qatari World Cup. And I was thinking, surely this is a bit gazy, but let's go off.
Facts.
Yeah, man.
There's no way there's a £200 million transfer happening. There's not some strings attached.
So moving on to yesterday's game. Just briefly, Lavish.
Oh.
I want you to just break it down. Arsenal beat Liverpool 2-1 at home at the carpet.
You lot was confused on the chat. Sorry, Jules, to cut. You was confused on the chat about why I was angry, because I'm not really a betting man. But what did I do? I bet against my team. I bet against my team, and the one time in 5 years, one of the worst.
I don't know what inspired you to.
One of the worst team sheets I've ever seen. I put Liverpool to win, certified banker. Lost quite a lot of money, so I was that meant.
I thought you don't bet, kids.
Fuming that we won when we don't.
Fact, we might need to get a betting sponsor or something. Hey, bet responsibly. That's the one.
Yeah. Fun. Stop. Because it stopped yesterday. Yeah. Anyway, we went on to that game. Arteta puts out that team sheet. It's laughable, to be honest. I'm seeing Collar's dropped. Tierney's playing left in the free. And then who was playing left wing back? Can't remember.
I think it was Saka.
Saka was playing left wing back. Thank you. Cedric was on. And the team sheet was very weak. And I was thinking, where's our first goal going to come out of? Firmino hits the post on the deflection. Martinez's first mistake, probably, since he's touched pitch. And I think it's going to be a long day. Then Mane scores all of a sudden. Yeah, it's going to be a very long day. Do you get? Then we pull one back. I thought, this is only good for the both teams to score market. That's all that's going to impact. Do you get? All of a sudden, we got 2-1 up. And then we actually turn out to win the game because we defended very well. But I believe Liverpool were quite sloppy, and I think they've been playing hangover ball since they've won that championship, since they've won the Prem. As an Arsenal fan, though,
it's very hard to motivate yourself after a Premier League win.
Huh? What did you
So
say?
it's very hard to motivate yourself after a Premier League win. Like you can see they've kind of taken their foot off the pedal now, and it's hard to get that level back that they had before they finally secured the Premier League.
Yes, you know, when it's like the same when the hunter becomes the hunted, and that's what's happened to them. Like, just relax. You know, probably been on a lash for the last few weeks. I haven't won a trophy. I haven't won a Premier 30 years. Like,
Bare man drinking.
The piss every single night.
I thought the opportunity to break City's record of 100 points would have been enough motivation.
Yeah.
But you can't cater for those type of things, to be honest. So, see Van Dijk and Alisson making very uncharacteristic mistakes.
I'm just happy because now that Liverpool side is just out of the grave. It's out of the grave. It's just out of it now.
It's just nothing.
It's
just a Prem.
No Invincibles, no Centurions, not even all home wins. Nothing. There's nothing to differentiate themselves from Leicester.
No Champions League double.
And I'm cool. No double. Not even a cool domestic double.
Let's not lie. Fair enough. Since they won the Prem, but they blitzed it. So I've only seen a couple times. I've only seen a couple times the league has been blitzed. United Van Persie season, City, was it 2 seasons ago when United came second and
14.
they
18.
Yeah, and then now clearly they've gone clear. So
good side and all, good side and all, but that don't mean nothing to me. I can't lie. Show me something to bring to the table, man. I've been
messaged several times saying we don't give Liverpool justice on this platform. Do you get? So I'm just trying.
It's cool. We give them. They won the Premier League. That's the justice they get.
And
that's the justice they get.
In the Champions League last year, Premier League this year, you know,
cool. You got all of that, but you can't talk to the big boys right now, man. The Chelsea 05s, United 08s, Arsenal 02. You can't talk to them, man.
Okay, but this is their first one. Just let them have it. Do you get?
No, they can have it for a little bit. Okay. But just like sit at a different table, innit? Next sentence.
Bees in your bonnets, boy. Look at you. You're ready to pounce. Wow. You don't want Liverpool to have no fun.
So at the end of the game, Arteta said, I don't know, quote for quote, but he basically got at the owners of Arsenal and said that if we want to compete, basically, we have to spend. And he's basically given the light knock, like, give me my money.
And one more thing we know about Arteta, we know he's got a knock. So it's going to come. So him saying that is probably going to drive, we're going to have answers from the board. I believe he's ready for the party to come to town. And it's inevitable, it's happening. But him, apparently, the rumours came out that he's going to snub and sign a new thing at Atletico. So we're shook. Yeah. Him saying that, he said, what did he say? I don't know if we'll have the money. It's sad because how saying something as simple and as blunt as I don't know, how is that triggering? Like, how is that a big deal? But I understand how it could be looked at as like that. I've been in this point where as an Arsenal fan, and I ain't getting my hopes up. I'm probably going to sign Ryan Fraser on a free.
Yeah, I could see that. For me personally, this is like it's been needed. I don't think a manager has properly been able to challenge the ownership and put pressure on the ownership.
Yeah.
Ever. Not even like Wenger, he cooperated with them. He never spoke out of turn. He never really put the pressure on them to put them to get the money available. And for years, you lot have just been coasting in terms of actually putting pressure. Obviously, you lot tried something last year. It wasn't really something, but it was something. But again, Arteta said, like, you need quality. He talked about how Liverpool improved. You added Alisson, you added Van Dijk, you add quality. That's what Arsenal need. Like, as much as the tactics, as much as Arteta can have an influence on the team, you're not going anywhere if you've got Mustafi, Socrates, and David Luiz as your option at the back. That's if Kolasinac, Bellerin, Cedric Suarez. If these are your options at the back, you're not going to catch the teams at the top. And you lot try to put. I know this is not even to laugh at you lot, but Raul came on with his propaganda. Arsenal's got a knock. Our players still want to play for Arsenal. No, you have to pay the money to make players want to play for you. That's the bottom line of it. That you can't use all of this propaganda, none of that. That pay the money if you want quality players to play for you. And Arteta hasn't been afraid to say that, and it's been needed to be said in order to kick that Arsenal ownership up the arse. And hopefully, Arsenal fans would hope you lot move forward with it.
I mean, to echo what you said, that's very true. Like you said, Wenger basically cooperated with them in terms of being frugal and following by the strategy, blah, blah, blah. And over Arteta doing the opposite, I think this is a shot up that Arsenal need. Whether or not it'll be successful, we have to wait and see. I mean, I don't have my hopes up high, like Shem said, but that's what we need. We need to apply pressure. We need to apply pressure. We need to make the right signings. We need to sign better players. We need to, stop signing clowns, actually scout them properly instead of going by stats or whatnot that they've been doing for the defenders, apparently. I mean, things in Arsenal need to be addressed. I believe the club should be broken down. We should come out of the Premier League, not Premier League, the Champions League or Europe in total for a season or so. Rebuild, ground up. And
you love the funds for that, though. You don't have the funds for that.
Don't worry about that.
I say you don't have the funds. You don't have the funds to come out of Europe for a whole season.
Every season.
Right, well, thing is, what I would say, we do just that. It's Arsenal. We act broke. We actually have when you look at the reserves, there's actually money in the bank, but they don't spend it. Kroenke, he has his own agendas. Arsenal, he's more interested in his teams in America, some football team, and probably even the Denver Nuggets. I think he owns as well than actual Arsenal. I mean, we actually do have the reserves there, but we used to have what's his name, Usmanov on the board table as well. He used to have a stake at Arsenal. He got upset. He couldn't really spend money, and he left. The money is there, but we just don't spend it. And I don't know. It's mind-boggling. I don't know if obviously winning is not as high on the agenda as it should be. So,
That's true.
It's the culture at Arsenal was scary because we're just satisfied with just being a big name and using our name to take us places around the world.
Name's fading. It's going. Like, big names don't last forever.
And sell kits, and it's fading away because if you look at every team, the traditional top 4, the top 6, whatever you want to call it, you take their worst defender, they come to Arsenal and they're best. They're the best defender. Lovren will be the best. Who would you say, if Lindelof comes, he'll be the best? Do you get? If Eric Dyer comes, he starts at Arsenal. Do you get what I'm saying? It gets worse. Any of them back 4, if Fakayo comes, Rudiger comes, Christensen comes, they all play and they're captaining they're that much because our best defender, Rob Holding, is not better than Michael Keane. They're on par. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's a sad state. That whole defense needs to clear out. The midfield that we're working with and we're clutching on straws when they have good games, they're still not good enough. They're nowhere near. They're not good enough at all. Xhaka's not good enough. Ceballos is having a great time right now, but where were you? Where were you earlier? Yeah, so it's questionable why you're playing well now, but you are playing well. Torreira hasn't shown. I haven't even seen enough of him, and he's been here for 2 seasons. Who else? Guendouzi. He looks like he's on his way out. The list just keeps going, and they don't get better. Mate, now it's not centre mid. Willock is just nothing. Do you get? So the only person worthwhile there is Aubameyang. And Pepe, let's see second season. I'm not selling that stock yet, but let's see, innit?
I like Tierney.
Brave guy to not sell that stock.
Yeah, Tierney's the only one that is giving me a bit.
Martinelli.
Yes, them the kids, innit? But hey.
I'll say Tierney's our best defender. The rest of them,
I don't know why, because obviously Bellerin designed our suits for this year's kit release. He gets a lot of leverage, but let's be honest. Your first job is to be a right back, but what's your strength? Because your strength used to be the fastest. You had recovery, and at least going forward, you have bare chances, but one of them will be a good ball. Your final ball's weak. You're not fast anymore. You're actually physically frail. You can't really defend one-on-one, or you can't defend the recovery anymore. So I just don't understand why you would be our first team. Just that you have the culture ingrained into you because you came at a young age, but that's the standard now, and it's just so low. And as fans, we're guilty of being so attached to a mediocrity because we kind of complained when Iwobi left. Now looking back on it, great deal.
It's 40 million for Iwobi.
They got
it's crazy when you look back on it.
We felt sad about when Campbell left. He's won a Prem and he's won a Champions League, but great deal because how many games has he even played? But that's what I'm saying. I'm tired. And why I'm so tired is because I'm gonna be back here again next season for the rest of my life.
The rest of my life.
Rest of my life.
But yeah, Bellerin, that's the thing. He hasn't improved since he came into the scene. Like he's if anything, relatively speaking, he's actually gone backwards. Like when youngsters come into the scene, expect them to, obviously when they're popping at the start, expect them to just increase. Obviously, naturally, everyone just expects them to improve and increase. But Bellerin has been the same, and relatively speaking, like I said, essentially he's declined. At this age, he should be, from the early projections, he should be a lot better than he is. He should be touching world class status. More how he banged into the scene.
Because he's so used to being in North London, like you lot can't sell him right now.
Douglas Costa, when Douglas Costa did him open him the tournament,
that was the end.
Champions League match over. That
was the end. He took Bellerin's soul and it was never the same.
Moving on to the final part of the segment, we've got VAR.
We've got 3 minutes, Jules.
Because it's you lot that you're getting the decisions against that you shouldn't be.
You lot get your clout up. What have I told you? I've told you this before. Get your pull up. You don't have the pull United do.
So the first one this week that was a massive one was Trent on Saka. Just a quick image in your head. He basically did what Nketiah did to the Leicester City player. And I don't think he got booked. Did he get booked? I think he got yellow.
Yellow, and we moved on.
He got yellow. They didn't check it, and everyone was just fuming. So everyone's big question is, again, like, are we the only team that these things don't get overlooked, that they just get overlooked by? And why wasn't it a send-off? The second one, I'm just going to quickly run through them. The second one was Burnley's penalty. Can somebody remind me what that was? Because I don't think I saw it.
That was handball against, who was it against? I think it was against Doherty. It was a handball, but it was a very soft one. I don't know if you lot saw it, but it was a very soft handball.
Who were they facing?
That was weak. That one was weak.
I think it was Burnley versus Wolves. I think it was even it was an overhead kick. He turned around, the ball hit.
He went to protect his face. Yeah, he went to protect his face essentially, and he hit his hand, and he gave a handball. I mean, come on, like
it was weak. It was weak.
We high foot, like.
And then we've got today's one. No, is it today?
The Man United one offside.
Yes, the Man United and Crystal Palace. We had an offside by like this much. And then again, Zaha was asking for a pen and he didn't get a pen. So 2 gone against Palace.
Sometimes you just have to flex.
Like every week. What is the point of VAR now? Like, there's just no point.
I can't lie. VAR is moving very mad. It's been moving mad. And
moving mad.
It's the selective use of referees going into the monitor. Like, I don't understand why they don't they just randomly do it. Maybe they got a meeting and they get, you can actually use the monitor, by the way, and everyone's like, we'll use it. They use it once to show that they're gonna use it, and then the next week they just say, forget it. Let the game play on. I've never understood why they don't make use of the monitor. Like, I think referees must want the pressure taken off of them and want the decision to be an invisible person in Stockley Park. You can't say that I made the decision when it's being filtered through to me. But they have the opportunity to make the decision themselves, but they don't want to do it. That's what happens with VAR. It takes the pressure off the referee, takes responsibility of the referee to make these decisions. Saka, Trent versus Saka, that's a straight red card. Same way you look at Nketiah's one against Leicester, you saw red card. Like, it wasn't malicious or anything. He tried to get the ball, but he went at his knee. It's a red card. This is the same thing. He went at his shin.
Hit him on the side of his calf, so it's just like they're saying.
Right.
I don't know.
If his legs planted, it's a broken leg probably. It's a leg breaker. So you can't look at that and say that's a yellow card. It was just reckless. It was reckless and endangering them.
My head is banging.
Okay. Well, as we know, with United, referee decisions, always goes their ways. There's nothing new. You change technology, bringing new technology, you're still getting the decisions. But with offside, obviously it was the right decision. I mean, with VAR, me personally, I like the idea of VAR because it's supposed to get the right decision. I just don't like the people behind it. They need to sort out the training.
Yeah.
I don't know. Obviously, I swear this is still the first season VAR's been fully in use. Or was it the second?
In
So obviously,
England,
there's gonna be a bit, hiccups in there. So they really need to sort that out. And like we said before, they need to allow the referee to check the monitor. That needs to be done a lot more than it is done, because, like you said, it does take the responsibility off. As a Lindelof tackle, I would say personally that was a penalty, but like I said, we now get decisions. What more can I say? But
first things first, they need to bring the referee to be able to come to the screen more often than not, and they need to.
Yeah, definitely.
I think they're introducing that for next season.
But why did it need to take, like, this is the thing, England...
It was literally at the end of the United game, they were talking about on BT Sports, and Robbie Savage was getting mad because he's like, how is it not a penalty? It's a penalty. He's like, if it happened on the halfway line, you would have given it as a foul. Why are you not giving it as a penalty? And him and Ria were just going back and forth, and then the other guy in the studio, the VAR room, was like, oh, it looks like a foul, but it's not a
It's a referee union. They're not going to go against his fellow referee.
It's a foul, but it's not obvious foul, so that's why he didn't give it. And then they were just like, well, now we're going to allow the refs to just basically do it on their opinion, that they can go look at the screen. I was just like, but why are you doing this now?
It's the
why
thing.
did this happen
That obvious and blatant thing really is so blasé. And it's just so open for interpretation, and it's just different, because what we ask for is consistency with decisions and with VAR. So if you're going to say Eddie Nketiah, what he did was a foul, and like so, Trent should be a red card as well. If you're going to say, like, the ball, if you're going to say even the handball rule, if you're going to say the ball touching someone's hand, whether deliberate or not, and before it goes into goal is this, then likewise it should be at the other end of the pitch. But I just want consistency across the pitch, and the consistency in decisions. But 1 week something can't be, that's not a foul, is a foul. Another week it's a penalty, another week it's a handball, and it's a bit confusing. All we do know is that Alex Ferguson lives in Stockley Park. You ain't seen him since, we ain't seen him properly since he's been retired, and that. Comes to games occasionally, he never does any punditry or nothing, because he lives in Stockley Park.
You don't deserve to hear him speak. You could have paid him enough money to... He ain't speaking to you, heathens. He ain't speaking to you, man. He ain't speaking to you, man.
There's a reason.
But Wenger all slapping himself for FIFA, slapping himself for being sport, going or jumping on any platform that I have him. Ferguson's in the background, fam, running shit. I'm telling you, get your pull up. Get your pull in this game up, fam.
I'll give you a chance to talk.
Get your pull in this game up. The legends all out here running around looking for punditry. I was in the back running shit.
Nah, you're never get that FIFA call up. Never in life.
Once you realize there's a higher power than FIFA, you'll understand why none of our niggas are there. Then you understand that. That's all I'm going to say on that. That's all I'm going to say on that.
All right.
That's all I've got to say.
Thank you guys for watching.
Shout out to my nigga Benzema. Taking on that 34th La Liga. Big goal in this thing. That's all I got to say.